Hello, good evening, good morning, guys. Today we'll talk about the Facebook, and how to make Facebook work. I'm very excited to share this with you guys. Very good content. I'm prepared for you. I prepared for you the whole breakthrough, the whole breakdown of the strategy that you have to use right now on Facebook to make it work. So super excited. Just had a very good vacation time in Europe, and just recharged, like ready to go. We'll be in Barcelona, guys. Like if you will be in Barcelona for Affiliate World event, I'm looking forward to connecting with you in person. In person. So very excited to share this content with you guys, and this will be about like Facebook. So if you're not advertising on Facebook, like you will probably learn something good here today, but it's mostly suited for people that are already advertising, that want to get the most out of their advertising, want to scale their ads. And this is exactly what I'm going to share with you today. So super excited, guys. We'll start just in a few minutes. I'll just wait for more people to join us, and we will go. All right. So, guys, just hit me up in the chat if you can see me and if you can hear me okay. Just drop one in the chat box if you can hear me and if you can see me okay. My cameras, everything is on point. And I have very cool presentation, guys. So this presentation, like literally, it's like consolidation of everything like that you need to know, like to test, scale, optimize, be as profitable as possible with your ads. All of the frameworks, very tactical. Hey, Pavel. Hey, my man. So yeah, everything will be super like tactical, super applicable. So guys, if you want this presentation, by the way, you can just hit me up on Instagram. If you're not connected on Instagram, yeah, then you can just there's a QR code, you just scan it. Let me just go on Instagram as well, and we will go. Super excited, guys, to share this with you. So just a few minutes, we just wait for more people to join us. Guys, drop one in the chat box if you can hear me and if you can see me okay, and we will get started. Instagram, hello, good morning, Instagram. Morning, Instagram. Rodrigo, hey. Super excited, guys. So this is literally what's working right now. Facebook is an amazing platform. Facebook has put like a lot of effort this year to make it the best place for advertising. Like literally, like they made such a big improvement. They got focused again. Right now, there's no better place to advertise your business than Facebook. Like literally. So that's why, guys, I'm very excited to share this with you. This is like, I'll share with you what's working for us right now. Hey, can you guys hear me? Instagram, hello, Instagram, hello, Facebook, hello, YouTube. Good morning. Beautiful, sunny, hot fucking morning in Miami. I mean, the weather in Miami is like, it's not the best. We've been to Switzerland. Switzerland is a lot more chill. It's a lot more beautiful, I think, for this time of the year. So if you're in Europe, people asking me on Instagram, hey man, show me how to be the millionaire. I'll show you how to be the millionaire. I'll show you how to spend money on ads and get like twice as much back, right? Like that's, if you figure out that game, if you figure out the game of like spending money on ads and getting money back in sales, like you figure out the game to get rich. Like that's fucking it. Like that's one skill set. If you have That skill set will make you rich, guys. Let me know if like some people saying, hey Rodrigo, hey Femi. Right now there's like some noise. I don't know, guys. If you can, if the sound is good, I'm here, guys. If you're not with me here, I'm on YouTube as well. So just make sure that you make sure we connect on Instagram. Make sure we connect on Instagram. On Instagram, but the whole presentation and everything here, guys. And I'll share with you also this like presentation, if you want, some scaling like guides and some SOPs. So I'll share that with you. The sound is good now. Perfect. So I'll be sharing with you guys. Like, if you're on Instagram, you're missing out because you have to be on the you have to be on Facebook in order to get the most out of it, right? So now, guys, before we get started, right? Before we get started, I just want to get something like very clear, right? So what I'll share with you today is based on data, right? So Instagram, look at this. Instagram, look at this. It's one of the ad accounts here. $6 million, like $6 million spent on Facebook ads just in this one ad account. So, and let me just refresh this. $6 million in spent, right? So what I'll share with you is not something that just kind of like I read the fucking book. This is something that is working right now, right? This is based on data. So that's why I'm super pumped. And if you guys on, let me share it with you as well. Those of you guys on brand hypergrowth. And yeah, this is something, guys, that's working right now. I'm very pumped to share it with you. So yeah, we'll get started in about a minute. We'll just wait for a few more people to join us, and we will get it rolling. All right, cool. All right, guys, so that's on that. Let me know if, oh yeah, let me share my screen here just briefly. On those of you guys, it's one of the ad accounts here. Guys, let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Should be able to see my screen, right? So here, check it out. $6 million in spent, right? $6 million in spent. This is, let me just refresh this too. So what I'll share with you guys is based on real data. It's not like made up or from the book. So yeah, very excited, guys. All right, let's get it started. Guys, just drop me in the chat box like how much you're currently spending on Facebook ads right now per month. Like how much you are spending. Just drop me in the chat. If you're on Instagram, drop it in the chat. And if you are on, hey Brandon, my man, been a long time. Awesome to see you here. So yeah, just drop me how much you are spending right now on Facebook. If you're advertising on Facebook, how much you are spending right now. 5K, we have 150K, very nice. Some more. All right, we have 10K, 100K, 50K. Beautiful. All right, cool. That's good. As long as you're spending some money on ads, I'll show you exactly how to scale that. By scaling, I mean spending more money on ads, right? Like if you think about the biggest brands on planet Earth, if you think about like Nike, if you think about, Apple, all of these brands are spending like insane amount of money on ads, right? Insane, like billions of dollars they're spending on ads. And that's why these brands are so massive, right? So if you figure out how to spend money on ads profitably, you literally unlock you literally unlock the whole scale. Like you literally unlock, like you just spend more money on ads, you get more money back, you spend more money on ads, you get more money back. And this is literally how you grow your business. And so I want to show you guys the major frameworks that we are using, right? So what you will learn today will come down to these 4 things. I'll share my screen here. Unfortunately, those of you guys on Instagram, you would not be able to see this fully. So please make sure you watch this on YouTube, right? I'll share with you the campaign structures. I'll share with you with the vertical and horizontal scaling, right? Because you need to have the right campaign structures in order for you to be able to scale. Because if you have the wrong campaign structures, it will be very difficult for you to scale. So I'll show you the right campaign structures. I'll literally show you guys vertical and horizontal scaling, exactly how you can do that. Lookalike audiences, like kind of how to utilize, how to get full advantage of the lookalike audiences, specific structures, specific tactics, guys, like literally everything you need to know. And then also retargeting, how do you maximize your returns? How do you maximize your ROI, your ROAS, and how do you scale to bigger numbers, right? So this is what I'll share with you. This is what's working for us right now. Exactly what I'll share with you guys. All right. So let's get into it, right? So here's one of the like major kind of like learnings that I've had over the years is that, you know, the mass media buyers, they're like scientists, you know, they're constantly hypothesizing, analyzing, testing, and learning, right? These are people that pretty much like looking at all of the other ads, right? They're looking at what's working. They have some ideas. Okay, we probably can test this like ad format, and this format could get us, you know, better results. They testing that format. It either work or doesn't. If it doesn't work, they test something else. If it works, they just double down on that. And literally all you have to do in order to scale to like massive numbers, like $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 a day, is to find 1, 2, or 3 like different formats for the ads that you can just continuously use, right? Like once you find those like formats, those frameworks, I'll share with you guys some of them today. I'll break down some of the ads for you today. You will be able to scale, right? So that's the key here. The key is understanding. The key is understanding the right sequence of the ads that you have to use in order to get the best results, right? But we'll start with campaign structures, because I think this is such a fundamental, this is such a key here, because you have to prepare your ad account for scaling. So 3 types of campaigns that we are using. Number 1, we are using audience testing, right? We're testing different audiences. We're looking what's working. Either it's like interests or lookalikes. I'll get on that in a second. Also, we're testing creatives. Creatives is like the biggest variable for success, right? I'll show you some of the creative frameworks that you can use for yourself. I'll share with you some SOPs. Like I'll share with you some awesome stuff on the creatives today, guys. So by the way, if you're on Instagram, just DM me creative right now. So I send you some awesome resources on creatives so you can up your creative game. And then scaling campaigns, right? Like how do you actually scale? You know, there are specific scaling campaigns that we are utilizing. At the same time as utilizing these 2, like you can definitely scale even inside of the audience testing campaigns or creative testing campaigns. You can definitely scale in those, but there's also some specific scaling campaigns that you could utilize. Now, audience testing campaigns, guys, and again, on Instagram, you're probably missing out because this here is only available like on YouTube, so you'd have to watch this on YouTube, please. Or you'll probably get the recording on YouTube as well. But you can see here, this is the whole structure, all of the slides, all of the frameworks, all of the tactics, like everything you need to actually copy this into your business, like literally everything you need to make it work. So the audience testing campaigns, the purpose of them is to test new audiences, to expand and scale horizontally to target new pockets of buyers on Facebook. And the audiences here would be like interest audiences, like single interest, stacked interest, flexed interest. So here you're pretty much kind of like, you're doing this like shotgun, right? You're like, okay, let me see like, oh, let me see if interests work. Oh, let me see if, you know, lookalikes work. oh, let me see if broad even works, right? Most of our accounts right now, we're spending the most on broad because this is what gets you the most amount of scale. Like literally the biggest amount of scale you can get is where you have no targeting whatsoever. However, if you're only spending, let's say, a few $1,000s a month, maybe even like tens of thousands of dollars per month, then probably interest would work the best for you, right? So you'd have to kind of like gradually get to the point where you can just go broad, super broad, and you let Facebook optimize. And in that case, you don't have to worry about like targeting whatsoever. You only have to worry about the content that you're testing. And that would be the biggest leverage point. So broad here, like broad can go as high as like 100 million in audience size, right? And lookalikes, I'll explain in a minute on that. So what I would recommend is to spend 10-15% of your daily budget testing new audiences, right? Like every single day I would test new audiences, $20 per day minimum, because it's like you want to test like some new of these buckets, some more of these buckets. So what I want to come to is like you want to get to the point where you have, let's say, 5-10 audiences that you know are proven for your product, that you can continuously hammer with new creatives. And this is how you achieve scale, right? Before you can go broad, you want to find these like 10 different audiences that you can scale with and get to at least, a few $1,000s a day or like $10,000 a day. So I would use your best performing ads, right? So this works when you have best performing ads, because let's say if you don't have your best performing ads yet, then you would have to use the creative testing campaign, which I'll show you in a second. I would do ABO here, super simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't go like super complicated CBO structures or like manual bidding. Don't do that kind of stuff. So the purpose here is to take your best performing audience and split test various creatives in this campaign for potential scaling, right? So you want to be testing at least 20 creatives per week, like UGC, micro influencer ads, carousel ads, even testimonial ads, single image and video ads, right? So all of these formats can work. I would recommend to be kind of like more creative with your ads. Like don't just like, oh, it's like this, like one format worked. Obviously you want to double down on that format, but also at the same time, you want to be testing some new formats so you can find some new ways to scale your campaigns. So ABO versus CBO, I would do ABO here. And the budget here for each of the assets would be break-even point, right? So for me, break-even points like selling point minus COGS, fees, and shipping. So if you're selling the product for, let's say, $50 and the product with shipping, with COGS, like everything included, let's say cost you like $20. So you'll have $30 as your break-even point. So you can spend up to $30 and break even, right? You will not make any money. You will not lose any money. But this is what I would recommend to spend on each one of these assets, guys. And so after that, you can see we use CBO campaigns to scale your best audiences and creatives, right? So what I would do is, if CBOs don't work for your ad account, create ABO campaign and test. You can do some massive numbers with ABOs as well. Guys, let me know if what I just shared with you makes sense, right? Like, and if you have like any questions here, please drop the questions. We'll probably have some questions, some time for like Q&A here, and just drop these questions here on the chat, guys. All right, we have some awesome people from is it from Estonia or Latvia? Estonia. We have some awesome people here. And cool. All right, very cool, guys. So very cool. All right, let me know if you have any questions on this so far. Let me know if you have any questions on this so far, guys. We are here live on YouTube. Yeah, this is live chat. You can drop any questions you have, and I'll try to answer that for you. And let me know if you have any questions so far for what I just shared with you. All right, cool. Let's get it moving. All right, cool. Let's get it moving. So we have that, right? From there, we are moving to vertical and horizontal scaling. So this is something that a lot of people like, oh, should I scale like vertically or should I scale like horizontally? Like, what should I do? And I'll show you what to do. I'll show you exactly what to do here. So, two best scaling methods for your ads, right? So scaling campaigns here. Testing new variables with your best performing audiences, right? So horizontal scaling is pretty much when you have something that works, right? When you have something that works and you just testing new variables with those audiences, right? That's pretty much what it is, right? I'll kind of like make it visual for you guys. So the way we think about it is this, right? There's a few dimensions of scaling, and we here like horizontal scaling, testing new variables with your best performing audiences. So let's say you have your like winning. Let's say you have your like winning. Let's say you have your winning audiences, right? You have your winning audiences. Now what you want to do with those winning audiences, like single interest, stacked, flaxed, like all of those you can test. Like you can test different variations for those audiences. So let's say if your best performing audience is, let's say, United States, like United States audience, right? Like let's say United States interest is like beauty, right? So this is kind of like your best performing audience. Let's say you're targeting like 35 to 65 women only, right? With that, you could test, single interest, let's say something similar to beauty, right? Maybe the interest like makeup, right? Like makeup, you would go 35 to 65 women as well, right? Also, you can test like stacked, right? So let's say you say beauty, right? So beauty and makeup as well, right? So here you are literally maximizing, here the output, right? Because you can, if one audience works, let's say bake makeup, right, and other audience works, which is beauty, right? Now the collective size of that audience can be twice as much, right? And so that will help you to find an audience that actually is very scalable. However, if your pixel is not that seasoned, maybe you don't have that much data, right? Then you just want to get like the highest like likelihood of people buying. Then you can go, let's say beauty, but then you would like narrow it down with makeup, right? So only people that are into beauty and also people that are into makeup would be able to see your ads, right? So this is flexed, right? With other one, like here, let's say you have that winning audience like USA beauty. So how about just testing those same ads, right? But the other ads that would be like USA, UK, Australia, we like Ireland, we like South Africa. These are great countries and will help you to lower your CPMs as well. Because if you're going after like only US market, your CPMs will probably be very high, right? So this is like literally how you create all of these new variables to test, right? So you can also go, this would be slightly more complex, but let's say you have this like winning audience like USA beauty 35 to 65. What you would do here is you would go after genders, right? But then here, that would require kind of like the angle the angle shift, right? You would go after USA beauty 35-65, but for men, right? So this way you could leverage the whole male audience and you would say like, hey, let's say the best gift for your wife, right? So this could be like super powerful angle that you could leverage, right? So here, literally, you can open the whole market for you and less competitive. Because imagine like someone is going after women, like very competitive audience. Imagine you're selling that same product but to men, right? And you're like, hey, this would make like the best gift for your wife, right? Buy this for your wife, right? You literally open the whole audience. It's less competitive, probably like less of a CPMs. You probably have like a lot less competition, right? And it's something out of out of the ordinary, right? It's not like each one of those other ads that people are advertising with, right? We've had a lot of success utilizing angles like this, just expanding our angles beyond what's normally kind of like accepted, right, guys? We're breaking this down here on YouTube, so please just join us on YouTube. That's where we break this whole thing down. Now, placement is another massive advantage for scaling, and especially in this current like Facebook messed certain things up, guys. If you were like aware, like certain placements on Facebook, they were extremely like overpriced, right? Let's say stories or like reels, they're like very overpriced. So what you would have to do is you would have to pretty much duplicate your winning assets, right? Create new variations of your winning assets, but don't include the placements that had the worst results, right? So let's say if stories had the worst results, or maybe your feeds had the best results, right? That's like where majority of the sales would come from. You would create new assets, including only, right? I'll create like an example here. Say feeds only, right? Boom, right? So just like that, you have the new audience, just like that, right? So this is like literally one of the easiest ways. This is one of the easiest ways to slowly but surely horizontally scale and find more of these buckets of winning audiences. Guys, let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense, guys. Just drop in the chat. All right, cool. Yeah, some very good questions here. Very good questions. All right, so here, question. In Italy, we said that interests are not good targeting option. In Italy, we said that interests are not good targeting option right now. Yeah, definitely. In some countries, depending on the data that Facebook has, had a conversation with Facebook rep, and he's like, it's like, guys, I mean, this is constantly evolving platform. Like, I mean, there's so many bugs, there's so many issues, right? They only can collect certain data in Europe because it's super highly like regulated. So that's why they don't even know, like they cannot even like, if you're targeting, let's say if I'm interested in let's say exercising, right? But then like Facebook is limited by the number of criteria by which it can identify me, right? Because they're limited by all of these like data regulators. They got fined by like $1 billion recently because they have been collecting data for European users and been sharing that data with their US advertisers. So this is absolutely like kind of like crazy. So you would have to, in your particular market, let's say in Italy, let's say you're advertising in Italy and interests are not working well, you just have to go broad. You just have to go with other options. You just have to go with like lookalike audiences, right? So you just have to go like broader in that particular case. So I want to the process to search best ads, like best ads 100%. We're spending a lot of time just like reverse engineering best ads, like looking for the ads, looking what's working right now in the market. And this is like for that, like the ad library is probably one of the best tools. Mynia, also like one of my favorite tools. Foreplay is a great tool as well. And so we are using these tools to find what's working for other products that are similar, so that we learn from it, we can replicate, we can test it out. So this is just done on a continuous basis. Like every single day you should be looking at other people's ads. You should be looking at like what's working, because this will get you a massive amount of like ideas on what ads to test next. All right, so here we have very good question here, guys, and we'll be moving on. I'm stuck with the campaign. Sales STO arrivando. I don't know what that means. Just stuck at 15 sales per day, and no matter what, we're just stuck, right? Rising budget, just do not rise the sales. Any advice, please? Depending on the market you're in, right? If you're in a big market, let's say you're in like selling in US market, you are not limited by, there is no fucking way that you are limited by the market, that people simply cannot buy the product, right? In those big markets, you're limited by the creative. This is it. And this is in most markets, because 15 sales a day is not a lot. I don't know the price of your product, but this is what you have to think about, right? If you are not getting sales that you want, you probably are not testing enough creatives, which means you're not testing enough of the buckets of the audience that you're going after. So for example, if I'm targeting the audience of people who are into, let's say, beauty, right? Then there's certain people that will click on a particular ad. Let's say it's like a video ad, right? UGC ad, right? There are other people who will click on the testimonial ad. There are other people who will click on the image with a testimonial, right? So there's so many kind of like micro buckets inside of that big audience. And if I'm only going with like one creative or like few creatives, I will be limited by the amount of skill that I have, and I will always hit this ceiling, right? Because you can only spend so much on a particular ad, and most ads are not designed for actually doing big numbers. So what you have to do is you have to get back to the creative testing, just like, double down on the creative testing, test more creatives, and that's usually what gets the most outcome possible. Yeah. So another question from Martin here. I have 3 campaigns for the same product. All of them are making sales. Should I turn off 2 of them? Just keep one in order to make Meta happy. Will this increase performance? No, just if something is profitable, never touch it. Like never touch if something is profitable. This is super important. Like don't ruin it. But at the same time, also don't stop testing new creatives. So you have those like 3 campaigns. Just keep testing new creatives for that same audience. More UGC content, right? More video ads, more image ads, even like carousel ads. Just keep testing new creatives targeting those same audiences, right? So you can get more out of it. Like creative testing is the biggest leverage point you will have once you have the product market fit. So how do you know if your creative is winner? If it's producing sales. That's it. If it's producing sales, if it's profitable, this is a winner, right? Could be smaller winner or could be like a massive winner. That would just depend on the creative in particular. They will depend on your country, will depend on the market that you are going after. But if it's producing sales, it's already a winner. If you have, very good question here. If you have multiple assets working at $20 per day, would you duplicate them or increase budget to $50? I'll do both. Probably first I would duplicate. I'm personally a fan of like duplicating at a bigger budget. I think that just like, that's just something that if you hit it, then that asset can be already spending $50 a day, and you're already good. Unrelated question, but what are the good retention tips you'd recommend incorporating into your offer to get people to come back and make repeat purchases? I mean, one of the things that you have to think about the consumption of your product. And certain products you simply cannot get people to buy like very often. Like if you're selling, let's say, wallets, right? There's no way that I will need a wallet every single month, right? In that case, I have to figure out my front end acquisition first. I have to be profitable with that first wallet that I'm selling. But then over time, I will be introducing new wallet models and also possibly some other product lines. So let me show you like a very good example. So this is from the company called like Ridge Wallet. And so what they did, right? So initially, what they did here was, they introduced like one product. I don't know, maybe like one of these was their first product, like one product store. Like a lot of people starting with that, kind of like, a lot of people drop shipping. And so just starting with one product, that's fine, right? You're starting with one product, but that what they continue to do over the years, right now it's like a 9-figure company, they continue to introduce new products, which means new products, it's like new, as you can see here, like new designs, right? Because let's say if I'm looking here, if I'm like a fan of, let's say, titanium, right? I would buy this product. And maybe I have a friend, right, who's like into like gunmetal, right, who likes this color, so he would buy this one. And maybe I have another friend that has that into carbon, right, so he would buy this product. So what you have to do is pretty much you have to expand your product line, because there's only so much you can do with one product type. And so, and in certain categories and beyond that, some product categories, you can't really, I mean, like supplements is better because like you buy the supplement every month because you simply, there's no more of it and you consume it every day, right? So some categories are more inclined for the retention and for you to keep that customer as long as possible, and some are and some are not as much, right? So what you have to do is you have to be thinking what other products you could introduce to your customers in order to maximize that retention. So guys, let me know if that makes sense. Now, this is something very interesting, right? And this is like this company Ridge, like, so they started with wallets, right? But then they introduced the rings, right? And so right now rings is like one of their like well-performing categories here, and they started getting like a lot of momentum with rings. I mean, it looks like Oida ring. I mean, I wouldn't buy this product. I would buy like Oida ring, like, but because it looks pretty much the same. But this category is very successful for them, and so a lot of people are buying this. So you can see here also, see even like personal care, they're getting into like personal care category. So this one is not theirs. I think it's from one of kind of like their partners. Backpacks, watches. Now, some of these categories of products that you will introduce will not be as successful as the original one, and that's totally fine. It's like the same mindset as you'd have with like product testing, the same mindset you have to keep, right? So if you think about the apparel, right? If you have like any of your like favorite apparel companies, how these apparel companies are selling their products every few months, right? They do either a drop or they do like some new designs, right? They do some kind of like new models, they do some new collaborations, if that's like a brand that's into that. And so if you think about it, it's like pretty much you have to be constantly expanding your product line. You have to be constantly thinking about new product ideas that you can add to your product line. There's only so much you can do with one product. You get to a plateau, right? Like maybe it's like only like $10,000 a day, $50,000 a day, and you hit a plateau, right? So you can expand on the creative side, just get more creatives tested, just get more buckets of that existing audience while you're pretty much like milking that audience like as much as you can. But at the same time, you can introduce some other products on the back end to maximize your to maximize your retention. So that's hope that answers. And we have here some other questions. All right, guys, I'll probably switch to the presentation, and then please continue to post the questions, and I'll answer those as we go through this. Guys, let me know if this makes sense so far, if this is valuable so far. Just let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Just let me know in the chat. If you want me to cover something else, let me know as well, please. Awesome. All right. Very cool, guys. I'll answer some of these. Alex here, Marketing Beast. Thank you, guys. So yeah, let me know if you have any other things that you want me to cover. Any other questions, please post it here, and I'll come back to it as we go through this presentation. All right. Vertical scaling. Vertical. All right. Vertical scaling is increasing the budget for your existing high-performing ad sets and campaigns. Pretty much let's say you have your ad sets that are working well or your campaigns that are working well. And with vertical scaling, you're just increasing the budgets on them. And so, but here's very important thing that you have to know before I show you how to scale vertically. There's two numbers that you need to know, right? These two numbers are break-even ROAS, right? And this is break-even ROAS is something that you have to get to in order to break even. You don't make any profit, you don't make any loss, right? But this is very important number because as people are testing these kind of different scaling strategies, a lot of people, and even experienced entrepreneurs, I'm having conversations every day with very successful entrepreneurs. Many of them don't know their break-even ROAS, or they're calculating it in a kind of in the wrong way. So for me, selling point is break-even ROAS is selling point divided by selling point minus COGS, minus shipping, and minus other fees, operational costs that you would have, right? So if you're selling a product for $30 and you get it, let's say on AliExpress, just for illustration purposes, or from your supplier, shipped for $10 including fees, then you would take $30 divided by $30 minus $10, which is $20. It will equal 1.5, and this means you have to return a 1.5x ROAS for you just to break even on all of your costs. Guys, super important to keep in mind, because it's something that once you figure that number out, let's say it's 1.5x ROAS for your business, it's only will be a question of where do you spend that $1, so it returns you $1.5 back, right? And this is what scaling is pretty much all about, because the more money you will spend on ads, the more money you will get back. And this is how you scale your business, right? So you'd have to find a way to effectively spend those money, but in order to do that, you have to know your numbers. Target ROAS. And so this is the ROAS that you would want to have ideally, right? So let's say your break-even ROAS is 1.5, but you want to be at least a 20% profitability. In that particular case, you would be doing, let's say, 1.5x, right, ROAS plus 20%. It will be 1.8, right? So 1.8x ROAS you would need to hit if you wanted to get 20% profitability. So this is important because if you want to be conservative, right? Let's say you don't care about the scale. Let's say you don't want to get to 100K a day, right? You don't want to I just want to be doing 10K, 10K per day. I want to be 30-40% profit. I would just want to optimize for profitability as much as I can. That's all I care about. If that's you, then using target draws might be a better choice, right? Because then it's like you will have to cut a lot of ads earlier. Like you will be cutting a lot of ads earlier than otherwise you would do, but at the same time you would probably make more profit, right? So depending how aggressive you want to be, right? Because if you think about all of these companies, if you think about all of the even like software companies that exist, they're very, very aggressive on the acquisition side, which means they even lose money on the first transactions, right? If you think about all of the many of the supplement companies that are aggressively growing, like they would lose money, they would go like negative on the first transaction because they know the customer that they acquire will come back and buy more from them, so they will make money in the future. But they don't care about that, right? They care about the growth, right? So depending what you prioritize, if you are prioritizing the profit, being as profitable as possible, then you might have your break-even ROAS higher and pretty much use like a target ROAS as your kind of like a North Star for optimizing your ad. So let's say if the ad is hitting like 1.8 1.8 ROAS, right? If you would be aiming for more profitability, you would be just like, okay, if it drops less than like 1.8, I'm cutting it, I'm turning it off, right? But if you would be optimizing for growth, then it's break-even ROAS, let's say 1.5. If it's 1.5, I keep it. If it's like less than that, I'm turning off. Guys, let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. All right. Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, break-even ROAS and target ROAS, these numbers, you have to know, you have to calculate them, and you have to keep them in mind. So 2 ways to scale vertically. Number 1 is internal scaling, and number 2 is duplication. So vertical scaling, it's the internal method. So formulas. If yesterday ROAS is higher than target ROAS, you scale the budget by 25%. Why 25%? Is to avoid learning phase restarting. And if yesterday ROAS equals more or less approximately equals the break-even ROAS, scale budget by 10%, so you buy more data. If last 3 days and today ROAS more or less break-even ROAS, reduce budget by 25%. If last 3 days plus today ROAS less than break-even ROAS, then you would turn off the ad sets, guys. And if you are on Instagram, just DM me scaling. I'll send you this, like the cheat sheet of this whole process, right? Like different ways to scale. Let me know. Just hit me up on Instagram, guys. All right. Now, there's some very, 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 very interesting things here that you could utilize. For duplication, if duplicating and changing the budget does not work for you, you could try duplicating and changing one variable in each ad set at the same budget. So for example, you would duplicate ad sets 3-4 times and change one thing per ad set, like the interest, except the interest, sorry. For example, ad set number 1, you would change to man only or women only, right? That would be kind of like product dependent. As I mentioned, you could go after like totally separate market with a separate angle, and that's what you can do. Ad set number 2, you would narrow down by best country. So let's say if you targeted like several countries, like 5-10 countries, one of them performs the best, you would just narrow down one of them and go after it. Ad set number 3, narrow down the age. So you would just like, let's say you get most of your sales from the audience like 25 to 35, then that ad set would only go after that age. And ad set number 4, narrow down by placement. So what I showed you in terms of the breakdown previously, that's what you would utilize here to just go after the segment that makes the most sense. Lookalikes. Lookalikes is a targeting feature that allows you to target Facebook users who are similar to your existing customers or specific source audience. We have had more success with like broad audiences with interests than we had with lookalikes recently. But for some accounts, they work very well. So I would just continue to test. So 3 examples of lookalike audiences. Lookalike audience based on the customer list. So this is an audience of users who have similar characteristics to your purchasing customer base, right? Let's say people who bought in the last like 30 days, you would create a lookalikes based on them. Lookalikes based on the website visitors. This is an audience of users who have similar characteristics to those that interact with your website. They go on your website, they add product to the cart, they do something on your website. So you'd create a lookalike from them. And then lookalike audience based on page followers, right? So you'd use your Facebook page followers as a source audience, helping you reach users who share similar interests to those who already engaged with your page. So with this, you would pretty much like go after the lookalike audience. Like when you're going after like lookalike audiences, what I would recommend for you guys to do is start with lookalike audiences that are kind of like reverse order, right? Because the more data you can gather, let's say if you only have like 500, let's say you only have like 100 buyers, right? 100 purchasers. In that case, that lookalike audience will be like very weak, right? Guys, for you on Instagram, just DM me scaling, so I'll send you this, the slides. I'll send you some SOPs. And so for this, you would have to do it in the reverse order of a typical funnel. So for example, you would start your testing with people who've done either like they watch your ad or maybe they engage with your ad, and then you work your way down the funnel. So then you would target those people who visited your page, added to cart, initiated checkout, and then customers who purchased, right? Because you simply wouldn't have enough data of people who purchased to create a very solid lookalike audience. And why? Because Facebook is data driven. So the more data you have, the more powerful the lookalike audiences are. So this is something that you have to keep in mind. And this is the particular setup you can use on Fresh Campaign. So 3 to 5 ad sets. Ad set number 1, lookalike purchases last 7 days, 1 to 4%. Lookalike purchases last 30 days, 1 to 4%. Lookalike of website visitors, 30 days, 1 to 4%. And this is like literally the setup you can just copy for yourself. Lookalike of add to carts, 30 days, 1 to 4%. Lookalike of people who watch 95% of video, 30 days, 1 to 4%. This is like the setup you can use as is for yourself. Guys, let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if you're using lookalike audiences right now for yourself. Let me know if you're using lookalike audiences. Lookalike audiences is something like it's like a gamble. Like it used to be extremely effective, but then Facebook decided, they don't want to share like a lot of data with you, so they're like, we will just go after. We will not share a lot of data with you, right? Like we'll not give you like so much, kind of like. And so even if you upload your customers list, what we have seen is like even if you upload your customers list into Facebook, like emails, like everything, the whole data, it will not create a very effective lookalike audience. And so that's something that you have to keep in mind when you have like very high expectations for lookalike audiences. Guys, let me know if you are using lookalike audiences right now for scaling. Let me know. I'll give you like a few seconds. I will go and get some water. I'll go and get some water. YouTube, Facebook, 1 minute. I'll be back. Go get some water. And Instagram, I'm going to show you like a tour for office. Their office here. Check it out. humid. All right, I'm back. So always stay hydrated, especially when it's summertime. Stay hydrated. Impacts how you feel, impacts how you perform, impacts how you think. So yeah, staying hydrated is super important. All right, guys. So here, we answer some of the questions here. So basically, how I would know if someone has put anything in the cart. You can create an audience. Like you can create like a lookalike audience. So on your Facebook, if you go to audiences, if you go into audience, let me actually show you guys. Let me actually show you. All right. So actually show you. All right. Guys, let me know if you can see my screen, right? So this is you would go here into audiences on Facebook, right? You would create pretty much the source for the data, right? Let's say people who have say from the pixel, right? From the pixel, you can see the pixel here. You would search the event source, and you can see here, this is how much in the last this is like in the last 60 days, how many different events have been, this is how many different events have been like created. So 4,000 unique customers. And so from there, you can create your lookalike audience. So if I choose, let's say, United States here, I can create 6 different lookalike audiences. 0 to 1%. I can create 1 to 2%. I can create 2 to 3%. I can create 3 to 4%. I can create 4 to 5. I can create 5 to 6%. So many different audiences, and this is just from one. And what we like to do is oftentimes we go like 5 and 10. So this audience in this particular case would be like 13 million people. So what Facebook will do is Facebook will take this like 4,000 people here in here, guys. We'll take this like 4,000 people and would create a lookalike audience that's kind of like similar to those 4,000 people that have purchased the product, right? But that audience in reality will be massive, will be like humongous, like 30 million people. But if it works, that's why I like these audiences so much, because if this audience actually works, if we can go after the audience of 30 million people, that audience you can get, thousands of buyers from, because this is such a humongous, like big audience, right? This is why it's so important to kind of like test these like lookalike audiences and also go after like different countries. This is just like United States. You can create this for any country you want, from any event that you want, right? So we create just from the purchase events. If we do like the add to cart events, we would have like thousands and thousands and thousands of buyers, of people who added to cart. So even more than that. So we would create even more kind of like likelihood of those audiences converting. Guys, let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. So this is how you create. You go to your audiences and you create these lookalikes based on the particular events that people had. I have this like question here. Hey, my man, will the CPMs and CPC vary a lot with the lookalike audience? No, usually not. No, usually it's approximately the same. What you would focus on in the first place is the conversion, right? Like that's all that matters, because if you have something that converts, that gets you like good quality traffic, this is what you would focus on, right? Like if lookalikes get you like a good quality traffic, that's all you care about. You don't care about like CPM, CPC. Those are like secondary metric. And usually with lookalike audiences, even if like let's say you get like very cheap like cost per click, even if you get like very cheap like CPMs, but that traffic doesn't convert, that traffic is useless, right? Traffic only makes sense if it converts. Guys, let me know if that makes sense. And we are switching to retargeting. So this is something that you have to keep in mind, and you have to keep running like retargeting. I'll show you guys even like specific audiences that you can use for the retargeting. So they're perfectly tailored towards like warm leads who didn't convert by delivering personalized messages, potential discount codes, or even UGC testimonials that will alleviate any worries people had about your brand. 10 examples, like you can copy this for yourself. And if you're like on Instagram, just DM me retargeting and I will send this over to you. Retargeting, just DM me. So 10 examples of lookalike of retargeting audiences. Add to cart, last 30 days, exclude purchasers. Initiate checkout, last 30 days, exclude purchasers. View content, last 30 days, exclude purchasers. 50% viewed video, last 30 days, exclude purchasers. 75% viewed video, last 30 days, exclude purchasers, and so on, right? So these audiences you can just like utilize for yourself ASAP. And the best ads to run for retargeting are discounts and testimonials. So this example here, right? 40% off. So that's like this. This one, testimonial. I had flowers delivered to a friend of mine today. They were just beautiful. Make their day or brighten your own day with a beautiful hand-picked bouquet of flowers delivered to your doorstep, right? So let's say someone visited the website, you're retargeting them with content like this. And so another one here, guys, exact setup you could use. So test with ABO to find your winning audiences for like retargeting, and then you can scale using CBOs. I would recommend to spend 10 to 20% of your daily spend on the retargeting. People say retargeting doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't work as good as it used to, but it still works very well if you utilize it properly. And so on the fresh campaign, the ideal number of ad sets to test retargeting would be between 3 to 5. So for example, add to cart, last 30 days, exclude purchasers. Add to cart, initiate checkout, last 30 days, exclude purchasers. 95% video views, last 30 days, exclude purchasers. Engage with a post, last 30 days, exclude purchasers. And view content, last 30 days. You want to exclude purchasers, right? There is no kind of like point of just hammering the same buyers that you just acquired. You can just like hit some new people and get some new people in, right? So this is for the like retargeting structure, guys. This is what you can copy for yourself. And again, you can hit me on Instagram retargeting, or if you're like on Facebook, you can do like comment retargeting, and we will send you some resources so you can put it together for yourself. Guys, this is literally what you have to put in place. You have to put together this whole strategy, right? Like you have to put together the retargeting. You have to test some new creative, some new audiences in order to scale. And if you think about it from the perspective of scale, it's pretty much kind of like, how do you hit the most amount of buckets, right, in your audience? How do you hit the most amount of buckets from people who didn't buy, right? How do you overcome the more objections, right, as people go through the whole process? And that's something that we are helping entrepreneurs to do, right? We're helping entrepreneurs to put this whole strategy together, guiding them through the process, giving them feedback. So with your permission, guys, I want to share with you some details about our training programs where we will help you to put all of this together. So this is one of our programs called Brand Builders Academy. This is the most comprehensive and hands-on e-commerce coaching program in the world, and it will show you how to build a profitable e-commerce brand from scratch from someone who's actually done it. So our main pillars in Brand Builders Academy, so this is for people that are like starting out, right? This is for people that don't have like a lot of experience. Maybe they're transitioning from like 9 to 5, like I did once, and many people did. So this is for you if you're starting out. So our pillars for Brand Builders Academy, number one is product research, because all of this works. The whole like Facebook strategy only works if you have the right kind of product in the first place, right? So it would help you to find the product. It will help you to brand the product so that you can build your store around that product, right? And you can convert your visitors to the website where when you're buying ads with like Facebook, like I showed you today, you get those visitors converting at 3 to 5% plus. And if you do implement these three pillars correctly, you'll make money by accident. But most people, they get at least one of these three pillars wrong, right? This is what people try to focus too much on ads, or people focus too much on the product, or people focus too much on the website, and pretty much they can ruin the success of their e-commerce brand. And so these people, they're applying outdated content from gurus who never ran 7 or 8 figure e-commerce brands. Like even like what I showed you today, guys, based on the real data. Like it's based on the data from actually running ads. Like it's actually based on real results. And so that's why I built Brand Builders Academy. And so no other program, guys, comes even close, because we got the world-class video training. I packaged everything I learned from making over 100 million online into easy to follow and digestible course. And besides that, we bring like top experts, some top people with track record, who pretty much share their own like areas of like expertise. We bring them, we pay them a lot of money to share the information with us, to share what's been working for them, so that we can share it with you as well. So we have a team of 7-figure coaches. Like most people, like Andrew Tate, like he's hiring like people on Fiverr, like to coach. Like we pay our coaches a lot of money to help us train like people with track record. Like how do you get someone with a track record to join your team, right? You'd have to pay them a lot of money, right? You'd have to make it, worthwhile for them to spend their time on it. And so these are the people that are coaching inside of Brand Builders Academy, people with a track record. So you always know that you are getting the best up-to-date information. Besides that, we have daily live coaching calls. Like, let me show you guys, like actually inside. So I'll show you inside of Brand Builders Academy, so you guys just know like what it's look like. All right. So look, check it out. This is just the calls, right? Like, so every single day there is like calls, like every single day. Check it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 calls per week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 9 calls per week, right? 8, 9 calls per week. Every single day there is a call, right? We have all of the calls, we have the recording. You can ask questions, you can join. And this is, guys, this is the perfect environment if you want to grow your business. One of the most important things is like, when you're doing something, is to get a feedback, right? Am I even like on the right track, or I'm doing something wrong, right? Like how do you even know if you are doing things correctly? And so that is the key here. because we have all of these calls. So you constantly have this like feedback loop. You can join, you can ask questions, you can get feedback on anything that you do, and you can get guidance how to make that better. So that's just like one of the elements, just literally just one. And then the community, the most interactive and engaged community on School and WhatsApp, right? So we have the community, like, let me show you guys also. Like, I want to show you the community with entrepreneurs that are actually making things happen. They're engaged. We're helping each other out. And this is pretty much like everything that you need to make it work. You have the solutions for everything inside of our community. Let me show you guys. Let me show you. So check it out. Check it out. So this is our community here. This is our community, right? Let me know if you can see it. This is not some kind of, this is our WhatsApp community, right? Every single day there's like conversations. You can see members are getting sales here today, like $400 in sales, like very cool. And so you can see people are sharing stuff with each other, helping each other out, answering questions, mindset, ads, conversion, like everything you need, like in your business to make it work. We have everything. We have questions for everything. We have coaches for everything. We have team members like for everything. So any questions you might have, we already have the answers to. So that's the beauty of it. I wish I had this kind of like environment when I was like starting my business, because I would done like so much. I would have had success like so much faster. And so here you're learning from the practitioners, and that's why you're getting the results that's why we're getting results that we're getting for our clients. So like Ishan here, hitting 7K a day here, almost 5x his revenue in 6 months since joining the program. Siska here made the record sales of $3.45 thousand. Emmanuel here, I love Emmanuel. He's phenomenal entrepreneur from Sweden. Quit his 9-to-5 job, made in 3 months. He made like $200,000. $200,000 in 3 months. Like James here, he scaled his business to 100K in like 92 days. These are just some of the case studies. We have like every single day we're getting results from clients. We're getting feedback. We're getting like phenomenal feedback. You can check my YouTube channel. It's something that I'm very, very proud of. So if you're watching on Instagram, just DM me the word ready, and I'll give you more details. We'll see if it's a good fit. We'll see whether we can help you. So if you're on Instagram, just DM me the word ready. And if you are on Facebook or YouTube, then just hit up my team members on Facebook. There should be my team members, and also I'll drop a link here as well so you can apply and see if it's good fit for you. Now, if you're watching this, and maybe you're watching this and you're already doing, let's say, $1,000 per day, $5,000 per day, maybe $10,000 per day in sales, but you want to get to big boy numbers like 20, 50, even 100K per day. That's exactly why I built e-commerce scaling secrets 3.0. And so our main pillars, or the main things that we can help you with inside of the e-commerce scaling secrets, is advertorials, creative sourcing, and multi-channel traffic, right? So advertorials, so you can have higher conversion rates, higher average order value, so you can spend more on ads. Creative sourcing, so you can source more pieces of content that you can test, so you can lower your ad costs and you can scale there. And then multi-channel, so you can diversify your traffic sources, so you're not only dependent on Facebook, like most people, right? Facebook is great, but you don't want to be dependent only on Facebook. So these 3 pillars is what will help you to get your business from 1K a day, 3K a day, 5K a day to like 10, 20, $50,000 per day in sales. And that's what will help you with in ESS. And since these are all like high level and new topics, nobody's teaching them. And if they are, they're not teaching them well. right? So that's why we prepared the e-commerce scaling secrets. This is literally my, like, the same as Brand Builders Academy. This is my baby. Like, this is literally the environment that I wish I had when I was growing my business, when I was scaling it, because access to the information, access to strategies, access to tactics, access to insights is something that is like, you can't get that anywhere else. And so for that reason, um, I'm super excited to have you inside of one of our programs, connecting with you, helping you grow your business, helping you to, make your business more fun, connecting with some amazing like individuals. We have some awesome people in our community. And so that's something that we help our clients with. So check it out here. Like, for example, this is inside of the ESS, right? Like, one of our programs, I don't know if you can see it, just crossed 300K for this month, right? We're literally offering this like one-on-one support, one-on-one, like you have one-on-one access to me inside of the ESS, right? Literally, we have this like private Slack channel where you have, like, if you have like any questions whatsoever, whether it's like about the ads, whether it's about the conversion rate, whether it's maybe you need some introduction, maybe you want to sell your business, right? Maybe you want to sell your business, and that's something that, kind of would make it, worthwhile for you, or you just want to kind of like move on and do something else. We help, like, 4 of our clients have exited their businesses, like millions of dollars. They have sold their businesses for. We help them to streamline their business, make their business more profitable, more efficient, scale it, and then sell it. So that's what you want to do. Like, you want to get to these numbers, like 300K per month, or even more. Then ESS is the best program for that purpose. So besides that, we have our very active community for ESS on WhatsApp. So this is like our community here. This is like just today, like, you can see many conversations are happening. People are connecting with each other. We have the founder of Funnelish, for example. If you're into funnels, we have the founder of Funnelish in our community. We have some awesome other awesome entrepreneurs in our community as well. So if you want to have to get access to it, yeah, just DM me ESS on Instagram, or if you're on other platforms, just DM our team members, and they'll give you more details, and we'll see how we can help you. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me today. And guys, I mean, I'm looking forward to working with you if you want to join one of our programs, and if not, please implement some of the things from this presentation. Shoot me some results, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. All right, guys. Thank you. I'll see you around.